Hi everyone, this is Norman Kochnick here. Eyes on cricket, just making sure we're ready to go. We had an action-packed day already in the test match between Australia and England, with England 4 for 31 chasing, well, they've got to get past 72, no, 82 actually. Hello, Kishal Sharma, how are you? So, Australia today, once again, are in an incredible situation. So, possible innings defeat for England here. Yes, it certainly looks like it. Oh my God. 4 for 31, chasing down 82 just to get back onto the board. With Root still there, which is thankful, and Ben Stokes, but then, gee, except for Bairstow and Butler, there's not a hell of a lot more left, so they're not looking very good. How are you? No name, as we call you. I've just got myself a new iPad because the old one's carked it, and my laptop's not doing well. So, yes, Australia against England's a very intriguing situation. Do you think Harris will redeem himself? I don't think so. I don't think sufficiently, but if Australia win and win easily, he'll continue to stay in the side. So, about it okay, but yet again, he didn't get a century, and that's what he's there for. He's played 13 test matches to score centuries as an opening batsman, and he hasn't done so yet. So, you know, serious doubts. Yeah, people are saying this is an insult to Ashes cricket. This whole England side are horrific. Look at the scores. Let's just get the scores clear now. We've got. I don't think Harris has redeemed himself at all, to be honest. I don't think so. I would argue he hasn't. So effectively, England were all out for 185, which was an atrocious scoreline. Australia today, albeit are ahead, they didn't go flying ahead. They were all out for 267, so they only had a 82-run lead. Now that should have given England a lot of positivity going into their second innings. Now, other than Marcus Harris, who got 70-odd runs, 76 I think it was. No one else seemed really fared that well. We had some fair middling scores, and we only got 260. That's a credit to England. Jimmy Anderson certainly bowled well. He was joined well by even the likes of Ollie Robinson. But we got out the bat, and they're now 4 for 31, having almost lost 3 on a hat trick with the third Milan going at first ball. Now I feel sorry for Milan because it looks like it may have been overturned had it been a not out decision, but unfortunately it was an out decision, so he was out. Hamid got out to a pretty good ball, but still he didn't play the right line. Crawley unfortunately got up quite easily, and then you got fourth wicket was Leach, and he was in there as a night watchman. So yeah, they're in a bit of a mess. They're 51 runs adrift before they can even make Australia batting in. They have to be a better opening after Cook retired. Look, having spoken to Simon Willis the other day on my show, it was pretty obvious that he didn't think much of Zach Crawley either. There may have been some of the English Lions players that should have stayed back. It may have been a better opportunity, but anyway, we'll wait and see how that pans out. So Abi Inamada, imagine if there would be 5 down tonight. Well, they went very close. That was the best performance of Anderson in Australia. That says something about Anderson underperforming in Australia. Well, yeah, but he's still a great player. We can't take away from it. He's 39 years old. He's still getting 4 wickets and bowled very well. That was a very good performance. Now, Australia's fate there is. They certainly don't deserve to be ranked too high. Labuschagne got out for 1. Labuschagne got out for 1. So that's So Steve Smith got out cheaply too. Warner got 38. Some of the Stark and the Cummins got 20 or 30, 20 odd each. They resurrected towards the end there, and Kerry got 19. So some fair to middling scores, but 267 is not a great score, but they're a lead of 82. England did look like they were going to knock it off without losing a wicket at the very least. That quickly disappeared. and we'll fall down for 31. 51 runs adrift, and they've only got 6 wickets in hand, with only really 4 batsmen of note left. And I've got 3 that are pretty much bowlers. Only Anderson, Wood, and Leach. Well, Leach is out, so it's Anderson, Wood, and Ollie Robinson left. Only really leaves the likes of Root and Stokes, which is a pretty formidable pair, with Bairstow and Butler. Yeah. Yeah, then hat-trick was very, very close indeed. With the kind of batting lineup the Australians have, I mean, chance England has was if they scored 450. Well, yeah, they need to score a fair few more than what they're scoring so far. So, yeah, it's a very disappointing performance. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, don't forget, the game is starting in a matter of how long? We've got another 3 minutes. We're going to be watching. And, of course, the Australian game started late today too, because England team had a COVID scare, and they had one of the family members came as test positive, so the whole team had a big rapid test, and in Melbourne it's okay, they can continue to play. So that was a bit of a plus for India versus South Africa in a few minutes. So yeah, in the India-South Africa match, and we have to really have a good chat about that. That's been a fantastic effort. It certainly has. I mean, look at that score there. You know, KL Rahul has certainly shown his worth, hasn't he? He's been magnificent. Not out after a day's play for 100. He's not out 122. India at 3 for 272. With Rahane not out 40 after having hit 8 fours in that 40 as well. With KL Rahul 122 not out, having faced 248 balls, batted the whole day yesterday, 17 fours and 6. So look. Longy Ngidi is the only player that's actually taken the wickets, 3 wickets for 45. So, looking at the Indian batting lineup, Agarwal contributed brilliantly. They had a 117-run opening partnership, fantastic, with Rahul 122. Pujara went first ball. Oh, God. And Kohli was looking good on 35, but was out playing a very loose shot, unfortunately. Had the whole over very close to him, and he played the ball well away from his pads and was caught for 35. Rahane's come in and knows that he's in some sort of trouble, so he's not at 40. So this particular partnership now is 73, having lost the 3rd wicket at 199. So you're saying there's a bit of rain. Addressing Kohli's batting, obviously out stretching for air. He's trying too hard. He does try. He hasn't had luck, though. He's got to have a bit more luck on his side. So they've still got Pant, Ashwin, Thakur, Shami, Bumrah, and Siraj to bat. Got a few battings. In the bowling line, Rabada bowled steadily, 1 for 51. Ngidi, 3 for 45. They're missing Norgay for sure. Marco Jansen did not have a good day. He going for about 4 and over, none for 61. Mulder, steady but not great, none for 49. Maharaj, reasonable but none for 58. So no penetration there at all. So the Indian batting lineup has really had a hard day. 3 of their batsmen, 4 of their batsmen have gone pretty well. Pujara getting out first ball, which is not very good. It just keeps adding to the equation. If Rohit Sharma and Gill get back into the squad, which they will, and Shreyas Iyer is there, Pujara better start to get his act together. I thought more importantly Rahane does. He's on that 40, so he's getting his act together. Robert Muller, 89. Hey Norman, how are you? Good, very, very good, Robert Muller. We're talking more about India versus South Africa as it starts now, but we really do have a lot to talk about with the Australian England series as well. I didn't get that hype about Jenkins. His bowling was nothing special. Jenkins, you mean Jansen, don't you? Yes, bro. First session, I feel like. Okay. Match delayed by rain. Yeah, we'll have a bit of a chat there, won't we, guys? I'm updating my iPad, which is taking forever. It's a nice one. It's got a little stand and everything. It's cost $500. Stand was a bit expensive. But yeah, otherwise, I'm pretty happy. The amount of... So India must be very happy with themselves. They deserve to be ranked number 1 in the world. India are by far the leading side of the world now, really, followed by New Zealand. With Australia edging up. England dropping quite dramatically, and maybe they've had too much cricket this year. I don't know what the story is, but it's certainly not looking good. And then you have Root. If he gets a central, he's got to get a century in the second innings. Well, to help his team for starters, but also to give his guys any hope of score. He'll need to score a big fat century, that's for sure. I'm just looking at this. What do we got here? I'm not sure. I'm going to plug this in somewhere. Where do we plug it in? This is where you plug it in there. Just learning how to plug in my thing in here, guys. Just give me a sec. Oh, there we go. I've got a plugged in situation going on there. Cord's not really that long, but it will do. Will certainly do. Give it a bit of an iPad whirl, shall I? We'll get rid of this tape. It's got tape around it. Brand new look, guys. You can see it's brand new socketry. Look at my iPad there, you'll see it. Brand new iPad. So there's a plug that. What happened? That's going great. Nice. Well, at least that's one good thing. We've got connectivity here, guys. The English team are really pathetic. Well, it is about their mental state. Two in particular, Josh Butler and Ben Stokes, two we expected a lot more from, have not performed. The upper order batsmen, I mean, Rory Burns is. But Zach Crawley, give him a bit of a go. I think he's got the ability to do well in these conditions, to be honest. So, put back on his what a bowler. Now, he certainly is in the McGrath League. Now with captaincy, the match has definitely been delayed by rain. Haven't got an idea of as to how long that will be. I'm trying to push me for Apple TV. Push me for everything, bloody everything. So, well, Mike Haseman's there having a bit of a chat. The Betway India versus South Africa series. Well, I sent a YouTube streamer your way. Has been covering Ashes daily and BBL and New Zealand games. What's his name, Rob Muller? A YouTube streamer. What's his name?
Higher, not as high as some do and will do throughout the test match. We've got some blue balls also.
Interesting how Michael Haseman's there commentating. So the Kiwi lads, is that what they're called, the Kiwi lads? Okay. Well, and I love to catch up on them. So you send them to my page. I'll have a look at their page and I'll try and tee up. Thanks for that. Paul Newman, Harris did well for 76. Well, yeah, but 76 is not 100, and this is his 13th Test match, so that needs to be turned. He may be just surviving, may have just cemented his spot for the series, perhaps. But I don't know. I still reckon I should give Kawaja a Guernsey. That's what I think. Now, hey Norman, do you think Australia is playing really well, or is it just England making them look like? I think Josh Adams' comments are very, very relevant here. Hey Norman, do you think Australia is playing really well, or is it just England making them look somewhat unbeatable at the moment? I honestly tend to think the latter. I don't think Australia's been tested at all through the series. Okay, Labuschagne today got out for 1, and Smith for 16. The team has wobbled a little bit, so well, I don't think this is a great Australian side. But anyways, some of the new bowlers, Scotty, but it's very, very honestly, it's very typical for an Australian team to bowl well at home. It's very easy to come in, not easy, but Scott Bond plays hard out on the MCG. He knows the ground very well, so yeah, he was destined to get wickets. He got 2 today, one of the first things. You know, they're and Nisa and right, dry wishes, and that's their home conditions. All good. watching Jai Richardson play in India during the IPL was atrocious. So, you know, there's that to factor in. Pat Cummins, everything's gone right for him. He's won the toss. He's had great support. All well and good. Steve Smith obviously has done well too. But I'm not convinced that Marcus Harris, he's had a pretty good run today with his 76, but I'm not convinced. I think Travis said, despite having scored a few runs, is vulnerable at the best of times as well. So the Mandela effect, people aren't sure if Australia is actually that good. No, well, the truth is that England have played extremely poorly, have let Australia run all over them, and it's been made easy for Australia. If they don't play the SCG test, where do you believe it will go? Look, there's discussion about that, but Nick Hockley today, the CEO, made it very, very clear that they're going to play the match at the SCG, in particular when it comes to things such as a private chartered plane for the players. They simply stay away from any form of contact, and they can't gallivant around the restaurants that they did in Adelaide. And the players' family may have to be distanced from the players. There's a few things that might have to change now that it's after Christmas. In January, we might see the players and family stay a bit separate, and also we might see the gallivanting around restaurants stop as well. So, because if they don't, Sydney will not allow them to have immediate play after getting a PCR or PCR test, whatever it is. They'll need to be quarantined. So, yeah, I don't think there'll be any problems. They're well aware of what they're going to do. It's strange seeing Mark Nicholas starting off the commentary for the South Africa-India game. He's obviously moved himself to South Africa somehow, and he's being dropped. Well, Channel 9 don't need him anymore, and 7 haven't gone for him, so there you go. Okay. Lakshman Gawaz says hi. As a cricket fan, it's so glad to see a bowler doing so well and captain too. It was a treat to watch. Look, he's admirable indeed. Certainly is a man of great integrity, you would argue, and is certainly a good player, and he leads by example, gets along with everybody. So, yeah, he's been a natural choice. Whether he's the best captain tactically is another question, and we yet to really see him tested where things aren't going his way. But then I can see Sunil Gavaskar with Sean Pollock talking to Mark Nicholas there in Supersport Park in Centurion, which is basically Galting, very close to Pretoria, also Johannesburg. It's in that sort of neck of the woods. So we've got Mark Nicholas, who didn't play for Australia, didn't play for England. He played for Hampshire, county cricket, yeah, I'll give him that. But Sunil Gavaskar and Sean Pollock played for their countries. All right. Ditto here, it's good to see a bowling cup leading. It's something different, yes, for sure. I would agree with that. So this has definitely been a bowler's match. It certainly has. The ground has certainly been made deliberately a green top. In fact, they tried to. Melbourne have started to become a bit of a road, and they've made it more of a bowling front. They look at it was extremely green, and it had 11 millimetres of grass, which is quite high, allowing for movement and the like. So that's an interesting point. Also, it's surprising to see Cummins bowling too well. He debuted around 2010, but the injury ruined him for years. Exactly. He looked like he was gone. What do you think has changed that he looks different? First of all, he's stronger. He's physically strong. His back, upper leg, arms, shoulders are all stronger, and therefore he's got a structure that which holds up better. He was quite thin, not unlike this Marco Jensen. He went off after a few overs in the first innings here for India, and looked like he was injured. He may well have been, but he's far too skinny. He needs to grow, and that often happens when you get into mid-20s. That's the reason. So Cummins has been more consistent because of his physical attributes getting better. So we need a competition. I am extremely disappointed with the England team. It shows Indian triumph versus Australia. It's a great landmark. It certainly is. Australia-Indian series will go in history as being one of the best series ever. Don't worry. It just frustrates me too because I'm bored. I'm already bored. This could be over tomorrow. In fact, it probably will be over tomorrow. Day 3 of the Melbourne Test. So it is boring. And I'm going to Sydney next week, of course. And God, I'm hoping they put up a better performance there. Let's hope they do. If they lose this test, which they probably will, they'll be 3-0 down. Their ace is gone. Even if they win the last 2 matches, they're only going to be 3-2. So completely against what I was hoping. Robert Muller, what would you take an extra spinner into the SCG likes of Maxwell Zampa or Schwepson? Well, I'm not a fan of Schwepson. He's obviously number 2, but I'm not a fan of him. I'd prefer to see Maxwell Zampa in there, to be really honest with you. Schwepson's is sitting there thinking he's an immediate incumbent for that position. I don't agree. I'd much prefer to see Zampa or Maxwell get in. Especially, I think Zampa now is more of a local to Sydney. He's playing more of his games there, playing for the state himself. So no, I'd like to see Zampa. In fact, I think Zampa's made that move to Sydney to push himself into the Test squad. I think he's a big match player. He and Maxwell both played in the World Cup. Schwepson just hangs around, doesn't do very much. I'm sorry, he has injuries with his upper neck, and I'm not a big fan of him. Low-scoring matches are always more entertaining. Yeah, low-scoring matches are entertaining, Paul, if it's close, not if one side's still thrashing another. The Australian summer's been a bit weird. In fact, it's raining. It's raining in South Africa at the moment, but it's raining here in Sydney. I was going to go to Melbourne tomorrow. I may not now. Norman, sir, going ahead, would you go with Cummins or Smith as a Test captain? Well, I'm not going to go with Smith. Smith's put himself as vice captain. I don't quite know how that worked out. It looks like they're also favouring Travis Head. Well, they should put Travis Head in the vice captain. In my opinion, Pat Cummins will captain for at least a period of time, maybe a year to 2 years. At most, I think. And then we'll be looking for another captain. There's a few floating around that I think should be given a chance, like Jason Sanger, but he's yet to make it big in the top level, so we've got to wait on him. Travis Head is also earmarking himself to be a captain as well. Now, Jason Sanger was an Australian under-19 player, so was Travis Head. He's also an Australian under-19 player and captain. Both Travis Head and Jason Sanger have captained at the Australian level, albeit under-19s. That holds a lot of weight for me. So that's who I would think about in the future. Most likely will end tomorrow. I think there's no doubt it will be. This will be done at 3-0. Yes, it's disgraceful. Now, Marshall Chowder's going to tell me he told me so. Did you? No. If England win this series, it will be the biggest series ever beaten last year. Yeah. If England win the series, well, they're going to have to do something dramatic to win this now. They're up against it. The Border Gavaskar Trophy won't be beaten. What the heck is Root trying to do? Okay, can't blame Joe Root. It's not Joe Root's fault. First of all, Joe Root lost the toss, okay, which he was devastated. You could see it in his face and his mannerisms, his voice. He was devastated. He would have liked to have bowled first and knew that was the key to this match, and he didn't get a chance to. The thing with Joe Root, he's not the coach, the selector. It is Chris Silverwood, the coach, who's he's coach, he's mentor, he's chief selector, he's the only selector, he's taken all the pressure, and it's way, way too much for one person to be both coach and selector. Okay, so he's muffed it. I may not continue. Well, the entire series so far is completely one-sided, very disappointing. The way England are playing, they're capitulating left, right, and centre. Very, very disappointing indeed. Maybe Root is the root of all problems, and Team England blaming bowlers for bad. No. Root's not the problem. Root is a bit conservative with the captaincy, yes, but he's got some pretty strong bowlers in Anderson and Broad, and even with Stokes and now Mark Wood. There's some pretty strong world bowlers there that do know what they're doing. So you can't blame Root there. Root hasn't got any support from his batting lineup. They dropped Pope and Burns. Crawley's gone in there. He hasn't done much so far. He's been out cheaply both innings. Hamid's starting to go very quickly as well. Milan has done well, except for this innings, which is now going to go for a golden duck. Root obviously has played very well. He could well go the highest. I think he's 1680 something, and needs to get 1780 something. So he needs a century in this last innings, which suits him very well to be then the leading run scorer ever in one calendar year, which would be a great achievement. Who I'm really disappointed with really is Stokes, Butler. Their efforts have been very poor. They were normally blockbusters that come out and score 50 or 100 very quickly. Bairstow made a good fist of it in the first innings. We'll see how he goes in the second. Better choice, I think, than Pope at this stage. But, Stokes and Butler have been pretty disappointing. So that's my estimation. Angel Wings, been a long time higher. How are Angel Wings? This is literally the worst performance that anyone's seen in a decade. I'd go pretty close to that. Yeah. What about Stark? Why are you questioning marking Stark? Stark's bowling has been improved. He was given he was lambasted. He was told off by Warne. He and Lyon were both given a bit of a G up because they haven't played well up until the series. And Stark had to stand up with Hazelwood being injured and Cummins also being left out of the second test. He had to be the senior bowler, and he's done a pretty good job. Is he still up there? I don't know. Root is not able to do anything. Well, that's not true, Marge. He scored a lot of runs. Even in the series, he scored 50 in the last season, 80 on the previous one. He's in there. Hasn't any support. He had a bit of support from Milan, though. So Cummins should have been made the captain after the Sandpaper Gate. Appointed Payne was a bad decision on Sarri's part. They had no choice. They had no one there. Maybe Cummins wasn't ready then yet. I don't think he was. Hamid must be fired. Well, Hamid manager, I feel sorry for him. He looks like he's got some talent there. Will Harris play in the SCG? How you rate his not so? I don't think it was that spectacular at all. Really, he didn't. He didn't like the fight. Harris didn't. They talked of every single shot Harris played. They talked of everybody's shot. Really, I didn't get that excited about Harris's batting. I'm still not convinced. This is his 13th test, yet another out below 100, albeit 76. Should have scored 100 today. Australia and India are only competitive all consistent teams like as a true cricket fan. How pity is it? Your views. Well, it is a pity, but New Zealand can't be sneezed at. New Zealand are right up there. England can do a lot better than this. Really, Australia, England, New Zealand, and India are right up there. Sri Lanka, well, hit and miss a bit, aren't they? Pakistan, I've got a lot of potential. Bangladesh have never been able to fulfill their potential. South Africa, well, we'll see how badly they are. India has to win this series 3-0. I'll make that really clear. India should win this series 3-0. They should absolutely thump South Africa. Other than Dean Elgar and maybe Markram and maybe Quinton de Kock, their Pavuma's not much chop. The rest are hopeless. The bowling's Rabada misses Norgay for sure. Ngidi bowled okay, but he's not really taking the world by storm here. So South Africa's bowlers have been pretty good, but not great. India looks superb. And, really, they'll continue to play well and they'll only get better with Rahul Agarwal taking on the players with all. Rahani's not at 40. Haven't even seen Shreyas Iyer yet. So South Africa fallen away. Some of the subcontinent teams are not quite there either. So, it's a little West Indies as a team that it's hard to work out where they're at, actually. I thought they were a big chance of doing better in the World Cup, but they didn't. We've got another World Cup coming up in a matter of 9-10 months in Australia this time. Australia won the last World Cup in UAE. They should be favourites, you would think, for the World Cup 1 year later in Australia. But they probably won't always fall that way. India are always a good chance. New Zealand are close to home. So New Zealand don't play well in Australia normally. But there's no games, no World Cup in New Zealand, specifically Australia. So it'll be interesting. They're looking at A.B. de Villiers' matches. He's played 114 test matches, 191 innings, 8.765 runs, at an average of 50, as you would expect. 50, 46, only 2,200. I thought he scored more than that. Best of 278. Great player. He was also great in the short format too, and South Africa miss him badly. Yeah, so Milan Root must be made the openers. No, you can't do that. They're two of their best batters. You don't put them as openers. I believe he'll be gone with this rushed in. Are you talking about Rob? Are you talking about in place of Harris? I think so. Could England defend 150 in this last thing? Interesting, Paul. Do you remember if they're 51 behind now, to get another 151, you'd think that'd be pretty impossible, wouldn't you? But if Root gets going and Stokes, Butler and Bairstow work their butts off, they're capable between those four to get 200 runs. Yes, and that could make it interesting. Wouldn't it turn this series on its head if that's what I was hoping would happen? I thought that was in with a chance with Australia 4 down for 120 earlier on today. I thought that we might be skilled below 185 and they make a real game of it, but it hasn't happened. Today Harris played very, very important knock. no one is praising him but criticising him every match. No, well, Himanshu Chowdhury, he's an opening batsman who's supposed to be getting centuries. This is his 13th Test match. He has not scored 100. Commendable enough today, 76, yes, but not. He may survive a bit longer, but I don't know whether he's got the right stuff. Kunak, what are the main causes of England's decline in red ball cricket? Well, Australian conditions haven't helped. On the bowling attack, maybe over-reliance on Anderson Broad, maybe. Misuse of Mark Wood, even today. He didn't bowl as many overs as he should. He was taken off after 2. The batting line's the real problem. The opening 3. I mean, Milan seems to be a solution there, but the openers, you need openers that score, 100-run partnership, like India are with the plethora of Indian batters that are opening up the batting. You could put Gill, Rohit Sharma, Rahul, Agarwal all in an opener, and they would excel. Then you got Padikkal, and you got Gaikwad, you got a whole host of Eshwaran, this young guy that's come through now. Patel, is it? They've got quite a few that are all openers. Brilliant. 6, 7, 8, 9 openers that can bat really well. Great depth. England aren't able to find one. Hamid's okay. Burns was okay at home. It's interesting when you look at the run score. It's like top is Root by well over 1,000 runs ahead of the next. Burns and Pope were the next, and they're both sacked. Extras was right up there as well, so yeah, it's not good. Harris could have been out about 10 times during this. Yeah, I totally agree. Paul Newman was bang on number. He was out precariously many times. He got 76. He still didn't get 100. Yeah. Haven't seen this kind of intensity and test since the game. Yeah, the last hour. Okay, Kohli is a bit of a batting slump. Yeah, he has been. But I think it may be a lot better for him now because he's not got the captaincies of the T20 and the ODIs. He's going to concentrate on Test cricket as far as captaincy is concerned. I think we'll see him get better and better. He got 35. He didn't get out. Yeah, we'll wait to see. Kohli is in a bit of batting. Yeah, okay. So Pakistan is also gradually becoming a force to reckon with. Yeah, they are. I feel like Ngidi as a bowler has improved. All 3 weapons were all. He did bowl. Ngidi bowled well, but they're missing Noor. Let's be honest, Norgay is a great bowler in conjunction with Rabada. England can't even survive half the session of batting without losing wickets. Yeah, that's very, very disappointing. It's only Milan and Root that can do it. Rahul will score trying, so I think he might very well do so. Leach is pretty pathetic as a spinner, especially in Australia. Is who you support in the BBL? My team is Perth Scorchers. Well, Himanshu Chowdhury, I have to go for a Sydney Sixers. They're my team because I'm from Sydney. And most of the players I know, Ben Manetti, I think he's left the team now, but he was there. And Mozon Reeks live up the road. I'd rather go for Sydney Sixers. Today, Australia bowled well, and it's fine to get out, but it should be the beauty of the batsmen to not allow the bowlers to bowl well. Exactly. There's nothing around it. Exactly. Even if bowlers bowl well, you play them well. You let balls go. They didn't quite know what to do with the ball. Admittedly, today, the ball kept a bit lower and there was more LBW and bowl options coming into play. So the rain delay is still continuing there with the Proteas and India. They keep calling them the Proteas. They're South Africa. Proteas. That's their nickname, like the Kiwis, I guess. Okay. Do you think... Yeah, well, I don't know. Do you reckon they'll be out for the whole day? I'm not sure. Do you think Kyle Royal is most versatile cricketer as the moment? Look, he's come out of nowhere. Again, he was out of Test cricket. It wasn't considered. It was Gill and Rohit Sharma. And it was even Agarwal next, then Rahul. Now Rahul's just jumped straight to the front. He played so well against England and then I think New Zealand. Did he play against New Zealand? I'm not sure. He also, South Africa, he's been batting very well in 3 series now. I don't know whether they're not saying, or the pitch is well and truly coated in a massive grain mat, which is very frustrating. Like the Melbourne Stars, the Heat, and Sixers. So, Robert Muller, you can't like a Melbourne, a Brisbane, and a Sydney side. That's hedging your bets a bit, isn't it? Pick one of them. Aren't you from up north, Robert? Brisbane Hedgley, you're saying. Will India score 450 today? Well, they'll score 450 if they get on the field. At the moment, they're not even on the field, so it's not a very strong position to be in. So they deserve to. What do you think of Patrick Cummins' captaincy? He's been admirable. He's led by example. That's going to be his mode, is to actually bowl and play by example. Like today, winning the toss and bowling. I think there'll be a lot more winning the toss and bowling going on with Cummins rather than the traditional Ponting, Clark, Mark Taylor approach where you win the toss and bat. Although, yeah, we'll wait and see what he does in the next few tests. But he needs to be tested. Let's see what he's like when he's tested. Today, I felt bowling was top notch and good lengths and good lines. It certainly were bowled, but I feel in the first things it was much easier, but too much pressure on Root and forcing him to play the ball. Yeah, it is a pressurised situation for Root. There's no doubt about that. I mean, Root must be really wondering when he's going to get some decent partners to join him. Actually, that's the problem that he. Milan's the answer. Milan is definitely the answer. And I think Zach Crawley is too. He just had a pretty. It's pretty hard to come out there and bat well early in Australia. We all know that. It's about the amount of pressure. A lot of pressure. Well, my iPad is. Continue. Okay. This iPad's asking me for Apple cards, and I don't know what my card number is. So my security code is 3. Right. Oh, yeah, light or dark? I reckon dark. Well, there we have it. I have a whiz-bang looking iPad here. So I'm going to go. I'm just, if you were to set up, I'm putting in some passwords here, guys. Should I say my passwords? No. What's wrong with my Apple, my iMessages? Bear with me a sec, guys. Let's see if this works. Okay. So I felt okay. Australian bowlers know how to bowl in the channels, and uncertainly they have mastered it since then. Yes, that's true. You also got Joe Burns too. Yeah. I wouldn't include him. Yeah, the heat, but why? Okay, let's go. This route will playing 4-5. Don't give up. Don't you think Ash is becoming a bit Australian dominant? Well, it certainly seems to be. Okay, Strong Waller says, yeah, the heat, but was there going, they need to change a few players. Well, you don't have to give up on them. Okay. So Australia have plenty of openers like Kawaja, Renshaw, Henry Hunt, Bryce Street, Tim Ward. Harris has to pull his socks up, I agree. You know, Cummins is difficult to handle, and bowls McGrath and length. How should it? Well, I still think prepared better. Joe Burns, Rob Miller, yeah. Jones bowl, no, had a bowl. I said it for you. I felt the pitches in the Ashes. When okay. Anderson, Okay, so what have we got here? We've got a whole host of things here. I'm going to try. What I want to find out whether I can get a hold of. Trying to find. Seems like a few things story up. The clock. There's so many damn things on. I'm trying to find. Oh God, isn't it? All right. So, pitches in the Ashes were much tougher and more helpful to bowlers than it was in playing. Only good batsmen can handle such tough bowling. Can't blame Root too much. I agree. Elgar, Markram, Peterson, Van Dusen, Bavuma, de Kock. There's not much strength there. Peterson, Van Dusen, Bavuma are pretty weak. De Kock's okay. Mulder, Jensen, Maharaj, Rabada need to get here. South African team will follow like a bunch of cards, really. When he is batting, which is unlikely. When will India versus South Africa match start? Well, we don't know that, do we? Because we're watching now. The commentators like Mark Nicholas and Sean Pollock and Gavaskar all having a bit of a chat, but nobody's actually telling us. Rain delay, yeah, exactly. Generally, you think preparing green pitches will be English bowlers or helping the bowlers. It's not about only that. It's just probably bring bowlers into play because Melbourne was very flat of late. Really feel happy for Langer. That was in all sorts. Yeah, he's still on the edge. I don't think they're convinced just yet. I think that he just can't expect to be captain, coach those. That Kiwi lads, that's how that comes up on YouTube as about to cover the Heat versus Stars game. Yeah, I'm not as much into covering the Heat versus Stars game as I am Test cricket. I prefer India versus South Africa than the Heat versus Stars. And Sydney Sixers are really the gun side there, I think. What will happen if half the England team test positive to COVID? Right now, you're talking about because haven't they been tested? I thought they've been tested already. How's the rain condition in South Africa? Well, at the moment we're watching there. Is this a replay? I'm seeing Rabada there at one end, or is he? That's just a replay of yesterday. I think that might be a replay of yesterday. Rabada's perfect age. He's 26 now. Looks like this could well be a replay of yesterday. Yes, that's first Betway test, Supersport Park in Centurion. Looks like that was the first day. I think they're showing a replay of yesterday. Because Mayak's on the bat, so that's definitely, they're showing a replay yesterday. They've been tested, Paul. Okay. They were tested, but I thought that's all, well, they were tested and cleared by the rapid test. Whether the more detailed test replay is there. Okay. I think Australia is blessed with great bowlers like McGrath, Warren, Cummins. I don't know whether there can be any replacements for them. Yeah, probably not. Yeah, they've been tested, but I don't think they are all getting PCR tests tonight, apparently. But I thought that they already had that test because before they left the actual hotel, they had to have that test. Yeah, so I don't know whether. Hi, Sumant Shastri, how are you? Will you stick with Langer after April 20th when his contract ends? My initial thoughts to Sumant Shastri is no, but it looks like he's conformed to what everybody else is thinking, so it may well be the case that he may survive if he has a perfect result in this and the other test series. But look, I think it's time for a new coach. But we take it on the basis of how he goes. He's played against a very weak England side. I'm not sure that did anything. To be honest with you. Okay. All right. Any more questions, guys? We can talk more about I'll try and bring up. Just going to the quick info. So that's what we got there. That's better. Great screens on these computers, I'll tell you now. Just want to find YouTube. Okay, Ricky Ponting. Okay, so the question is, who replaces Langer if he doesn't renew his contract? Would you slip Ricky Ponting? Cool. Ricky Ponting certainly one to consider, but Jason Gillespie is probably next one cut off the rank. Andy Flower probably not, even though he's a good coach. You're saying Manchester Chartered. I'd say it's going to be Jason Gillespie. Ricky Ponting certainly will figure in that lot. There's also Trevor Bayliss, who's captained England to a very successful period. Captain coach Sri Lanka and England to a very successful period. But Gillespie has returned to Australia. He was based in England for a while there. I think it was down at Hove, and he decided to come back and be involved with the Adelaide Strikers, and I think even South Australia, with an intention probably of coaching Australia. He has a coaching certificate 4, which is quite a high ranking. Not many people have that. So we may well see him be there in that mode. So let's see. App Store, we'll get YouTube up, shall we? Let's have a look here. Searching YouTube. And YouTube Studio are the two that I'm trying. That's the YouTube Studio because it adds a lot more for me. Okay, Mickey Arthur. No, well, it's funny, but he, having coached Sri Lanka not long ago, he's no, he's Mickey Arthur. He's coached. There was a few issues there, of course, with Shane Watson and likes, and that was homework gate. So Ricky Ponting may well end up playing coach, but I think it's going to be I think Jason Gillespie is the first person to really be the one. I've got to try and work it through the eyes of a cricketer at gmail.com. Oh, I don't know. They're asking all these questions. Okay. Ricky charged whole Delhi team. It did. I want Darren Lamb back as head coach. Well, the lead, he won't be winning that. It won't be happening. What about Steve Waugh? Steve Waugh may not really want the coaching job. Darren Lehman was in that debacle with Sandpaper Gay. He's not coming back. Just read what I was going to say, Paul. What were we going to say? Steve Waugh won't coach Australia. Not that he's not capable of coaching. He's probably just he's not really. He doesn't. I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to. Eyes on. That's what it was. I'm going to get a verification code here, guys. Bear with me. Verification code's being asked all here. Sorry, guys, I'm just going to get this dealt with. It asks me so many damn verifications. It says it drives you nuts. Okay. Let's see, I might want to do all this now. Damn this. Never seen such a rubbishy thing like this. It just doesn't make any sense. I'm changing my Google password and I'm able to do it everywhere, won't I? Oh, God, I hate that. Okay, so we're here now. We've dropped quite a few, actually, which I'm not happy about. This is more of a... This is not showing me the stats that I want to see. Damn it. Oh, boy. Analytics. What are the yearly stuff? Oh, I'll give up. Okay, so Lehman is coaching Brisbane Heat, and he's not going to. No, he's not coaching Australia because they'll even go there. Lehman's got so hang on. Ramash does so. Wade Thickham's in charge of the Heat. Okay, he's a Victorian. Oh no, is he Victorian or is he Queensland always? No, wait a second. My prediction is going to happen. I told you 3-0 for us. Obviously, in the last two matches won't be played due to COVID. Hope it doesn't. I hope it does. Let's not say that. Maybe COVID will be a blessing in disguise for anyone to avoid 5-0. Yeah, I think you're right. Talk about Ajinka Rahane. Okay, we will. Where do you think, sir? Well, what do you think, sir? Well, okay. He's a Queenslander. Wait a second. Okay. So I thought he was Victorian, though. Wasn't he a Victorian at some stage? Or am I wrong? Okay. Okay. Talk about Ajinka Rahane. He's on 40, not out. I've got to commend him for that. Okay. That's relatively impressive. So you can't knock that in terms of how much he has deserved that. So yes, look, I'm not that convinced on audience. How many audiences there? Yeah, so it's a matter of getting, look, it's probably going to be Jason Gillespie. He's top of the tree, and I think Trevor Bayliss is up there as well. So what do you think of will India there's over a match will we start today or not? Vishwa, I don't know. It's hard for me to say. I'm not in South Africa, but I'd argue that they're going to try the level best to play sometime. Looking at the situation now, I'm trying to find this. We've got a Zoom here for the. Hang on a sec, guys. Okay. Wayne Anthony is a retired Australian first-class cricketer. Or is this, okay. I just had this connection with second with Victoria. I don't know. It's my mistake. Okay. When the Indian ODI squad announced from South Africa says, I thought it'll be announced pretty soon. We'll have some playing issues given the series already in Australia's pocket. Well, they've been giving everybody else a go. They've given Boland a go. They've given Nessa a go. They've given Richardson a go. They may well do so. But I would like to have seen, as I think we talked earlier, Glenn Maxwell or the likes of, who was it? Maxwell and a little blighter of a spinner we've got. What's his name again? Oh, God, I've had a mental block. Tell me, guys, who am I talking about? Not Mitchell Swepson, the other leggy. Zampa. How will New Zealand and Bangladesh go on a New Year's Day 2 test match? New Zealand should smash Bangladesh. Let's be honest. It's in New Zealand. New Zealand are playing well. That should be the case. Can't imagine New Zealand not doing well against Bangladesh at home. Norm Pat Cummins was a brilliant today in the third session. I mean, another hour, the Poms would have been all that. I think you're right. Zampa, correct, yeah. What do you think about today's India? Will it start today? Please tell. At this point, it doesn't look very good. You may have to wait a few hours before the game's actually on. We're not getting any proper update at all at this point. Interviews are happening with Marcus Harris and James Anderson in the Australia-England game as we speak. I've got to get it's not easy to get this. What have they got here? They've got to find the password. Let's have a look. So Q Dawson 3. Oh my God! These. Yes, right. So let's have a look here. Zampa was the guy who was on this. And no Patel in New Zealand. But yeah, Patel's not even in the series. The man Ajaz Patel, he's done very well in England, in India, but not there. A bit strange. Centurion test washed out. First session inspection is at 11:30 a.m. Local report for our cricket info. So 11:30 a.m. is a first report. So the first session is washed out. So 11:30 a.m. is the first report. We're looking at a good hour or so before any play. Let's see if we can pull up any play here. Yeah, so there's a fair bit of going on there. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so 11:30 is a little bit long on the tooth, isn't it? Let's have a look here. Yeah, so England ahead by 151 runs. By 51 runs, oh, it's a terrible scoreline. Yeah, so the inspection will be at 11:30 a.m. Now, what time is that here? That's 11:30 a.m. is what time here? Let's have a look at the time here, guys. It's not 38 minutes before the actual inspection occurs, which isn't going to be making any play. So the super stoppers are out there. It's yeah. Look at this. KL Rahul has now scored 2,443 runs with a score of 122. His high score was 199. His batting average is 37, getting better all the time after 41 test matches. Now, Ajinkya Rahane has played 80 test matches. His batting average is 39, just one or two ahead of Rahul. High score of 188 with a total runs of 4,835. So he's probably going to try and push his way to 5,000 before he retires. I think maybe that's the idea. What do you think Houser will come back? Well, if they're saying he's going to be available by the Sydney Test, but I would say that there's some doubt about that for a lot of good reasons. Why would you risk him if he's injured? They're winning 3-0. It probably won't mean you need to bring him back. But it's raining in Sydney currently. It's true, Paul. It is raining in Sydney currently. I'm in Sydney. You're right. Update on rain. As we were talking about before, there's an inspection of the conditions 11:30. The super stoppers are working on the covers as we speak. If it doesn't rain, we have an inspection 11:30. So it's just that there is no rain at the moment. The earliest we can start play is at 12:10 p.m., which is another hour and 10 minutes away, which means around about 9 o'clock my time, which is about 3:30 your time in India, if you're in India. So update on rain, I just mentioned, I'll say it again. There's going to be an inspection 11:30, which is some 30 odd minutes away. And then if everything goes to plan, there'll be a play starting 40 minutes after that at 12:10, which is effectively about 9 o'clock, 9:10 my time, which will be 3:40 p.m. your time in India, and so on. That's the update we're going to. So we've talked about it. So it's raining in Sydney. It's raining. It wasn't raining in Melbourne. Melbourne seemed to be okay today for the third test of the Ashes. Yes, that's what's going on here. Let me look at my YouTube channel, the studio. I'm not getting that. I'm not happy with the fact that I want to get the full. I might even try and get YouTube here. YouTube. The website there. Official videos. It's asking me that. YouTube studio. And go straight to this here. We're not going to get that full streaming on, are we? Let's have a look here. My channel. It's not. I've got the YouTube channels coming out of my ears here, but not what I'm after. Okay, it's a bit messy here. Switch accounts. What have we got going on here? Yeah, it's funny how you see the app as opposed to the other place. So I'm not happy with that. It's quite a frustrating time of the day, isn't it? Oh God, this is awful. I'm getting kicked out of all my bloody YouTube channels. Terrible. Okay. Update on rain. Update on rain we've talked about. Stop spamming, exactly. Raining here too. We're definitely not going to say anything, I'm sure. Coley better do something great, or else we'll take it away. Yeah, no one talk about Coley cricket. Coley wicket, the wicket of Coley. Yes, well, there's no doubt about the Coley's wicket was a bit unfortunate. If I'm going to be honest with you, it probably, deserved to have a bit better a situation. Why does it keep doing that? Yeah, I just don't think that there's not a lot going on there regarding goodness. You guys haven't picked up the mistake, have you? There's a mistake. Actually, there's a mistake in V SOITH AFRICA. I spelled Sutra. I'm just having to update my accounts as we speak. It's going through better. I mean, I don't know how you guys remember your passwords for everything. How do you remember your passwords? So I remember the number 519. Okay. It's going to be for security alerts and all sorts of stuff going on. Oh, how frustrating is that? Okay, so let's have a look. I use the same password 1234. Well, that's not very good, Paul. Maybe you just told me and everybody else the secret of your passwords. Coley's wicket was a no-brainer. He should have played the shot. God first. There's a lot of talk about Root's captaincy and if he's the main to continue next year. Stokes playing for all three for one IPL is an option. No, look, Butler's also a choice. Let's not get too carried away with damning Root. He's been a great player, and in all fairness, there's a long way from saying that he shouldn't be there. Really, we need to be a little careful about how much we're knocking him because he's been extremely good. Everybody jumped on Coley's bandwagon, didn't they? Everybody jumps on Coley's bandwagon. What's going on here? No. Everybody been jumping on Coley's bandwagon, and that's not really nice. And now they're jumping on Root. They even jumped on Williamson. We were certainly at Smith. It's simply captains seem to be the ones they love to pick on, and I'm not impressed with it at all. So I'm going to edit this. South Africa. Bear with me a sec, guys. Passwords are a real problem. Okay. Now we should see an improvement to that board. Oh, God, it's not working. Bugger it. I'll do it later. All right, so I was only joking, mate. Okay, we jump. Okay. In England, there are are taught about leaving the ball, and after Crawley, Hamid had to leave the ball and not look at it playing them. Look, you leave the ball if the ball's not hitting the stumps full hum. The balls in Australia you can leave almost on the stumps because they bounce over the stumps. But in Melbourne, the judgment's really poor. The wickets tend to fall a little bit more, slightly lower, and that's probably where the danger is there. That they probably should not be in a situation to have left them at all. Well, there's some videos that you guys haven't watched about my Christmas one. Why don't you watch that Christmas one? Make sure you view, liking, and sharing the post and subscribing here at this time as well, because we want to make sure that we make it worthwhile for people to be a part of this. The best way to do that is to give the opportunity to you've got to be able to help by subscribing. Edit video. Let's see if I can edit this video. Let's see if it lets me do that. Okay, just South Africa. Oh my God, there's some spelling mistakes galore here. I mean, boy, have I made some mistakes in these videos. Why haven't you guys noticed it? Or you just don't want to tell me? Is that what you're trying to tell me? South Africa. This one you can't do anything. Okay. All right. Would you rate Carey's wicket keeping? I think his keeping's been very good. He's been very, very comfortable behind the stumps, certainly. Okay, so thanks, Norm, but Bartolo looked a bad bit ordinary. Hence, not sure if he has the name now. Okay. Why modern day cricketer not converting their 50-100? Good questions. Bowls are good. It's probably just a lack of concentration. Would we? I would rate, as I said earlier, Paul. I would rate Carey. I'm sending you scrolls and sharing it in discards. Joe Root, don't overanalyze things well now. He got it. Yeah, I didn't notice. Okay. Carey batting has been poor. Should Australia try English? Well, it's going to be something they're going to have to consider. Yes, but his wicket keeping seems to be pretty sound, so we can't knock him for that. To be honest with you, his wicket keeping looks pretty sound to me. So you've got to wait and see about these things. Yeah, how come I keep getting that wrong? Oh, Jesus. Wouldn't let me get involved with that, would they? Oh, this is the one. I'll do it after. All right. So, would we his keeping is good enough. Carey's keeping is extremely sound, as was Tim Paine's. And both Paine's and Carey's batting haven't really performed that well. English seems to be more of a Adam Gilchrist type. Okay, so that's for sure. Who wins South Africa versus India? Anzal AI, you'd have to say, by a country mile, India. India, without any doubt, will do very, very well in the series. So I think India's almost certain to win and win well. Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, with my subscriber listings, there's been some ups and downs. Try and promote it, please, guys. It helps me out. Okay, we've gone for an hour and 40 minutes. We don't look like, well, what are we waiting for? We're waiting on a decision at 8:30. We can continue to talk if you want. Well, there's an interesting stat that I've just been given. It has been 132 years since an English team has batted this poorly in Australia. This team currently averages 20.14 runs per wicket across 6 innings. Only teams lower are in 1887-88 with 12, 86-87 with 13, 87-89 all 1800s have been around the time 132 years. It's a bloody long time. It's pretty ordinary, isn't it? You'd have to argue. That's one of the worst stats I've seen. You're sending me subscribers. Thank you. Just cover the social platform. Never heard of that, Robert. Must be a new one. What's going on here? So I have to just that's an interesting community announcement I'll put up now. That's a pretty bad stat, actually, about the 132 years since a port was pathetic. Areas Australia can improve on it with green, carry, and even head. I would agree with that. And England didn't bowl that well to them, so they're a good replacement to these batsmen. India, New Zealand best test team. India, definitely India. Definitely India, the better team. Better team by a country mile. By a country mile. So I've said India versus South Africa, Centurion, Supersport Park. Very, very frustrating. I've updated some videos from Scott Boland that came yesterday actually, and Johnny Bairstow. Also one from Lungini Nagidi, and there's two today in the Australian efforts from Marcus Harris and from I think it was Marcus Harris and James Anderson are both being interviewed. It's been around since 2015. This particular discard, I haven't heard of it. It's very sad that the third test is drawn on. Sad. Well, why? Because of rain or because of what? Because of COVID? No, I think they're going to play it. Head's dismissal was similar to the one in Melbourne where Suraj got him. England bowled too short at him. Who other posted in Melbourne? Any good batsmen in Sheffield Shield? Well, there are a few, but Curtis Patterson and Jason Sanger, I still rate those two very, very highly. And also leaders, they're also great players, great heads on them, their shoulders. It's some real effort there. So the next time we go to, let's have a look here. What else we got there? The next report will be at 11:30, which is now 21 minutes away. It's too bloody long, isn't it, really? It's too bloody long indeed. It's just way, way too long. Now, I've got to also pull up the App Store, Foxtel Go. And 7+ there as well. Foxtel Go is there now. We should be able to start to see the Foxtel report here. It will be very sad. Log in. Oh, I've got to bloody log in somewhere. Oh, where's my Foxtel login? Oh, I'm going to say. See my Foxtel passwords. It's proper. Oh, what's my Foxtel? Settings on Foxtel. Okay, good. But Daly's oh, my bloody password is. I forgot password. I got to do the forgot password route. Or is it South? This was similar to one in Melbourne. Yep. It will be very sad if it's successful. We'll draw. It won't. Okay. Why aren't they brought instead of Carey Head green batting? Oh, I think you're talking about Shane. Who is your all-time favourite cricketer on? Paul Newman, my all-time favourite. My all-time favourite. My all-time favourite cricketer has to be Bradman. Has to be Bradman. All-time favourite cricketer has to be Bradman, without a doubt. But then I could go on and say, then you look at a situation with someone like Viv Richards would have to be right up there. Garfield Sobers will certainly be there. You know, and I mean, I have a lot of fun with someone, someone like Shane Warne would have to be someone, would be right up there. Then you look at people like all-rounders like Botham. And then you'd have players like Dougie Walls because of his character, Jeff Thompson because of his bowling, Greg Chappell because of his style. There's so many. I think it was. What? What is it? What's going on here? Jesus. Oh. Password's right. Why wouldn't my phone be right? Oh, this is just driving me nuts here. I really don't like having passwords stuffed around with guys, especially when you're live on YouTube. You can't afford to just bloody well. Let me see a second. This is Edith, of course. Okay. I've changed my password several times now. I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to be set to go here, guys. But we can't do very much for the next few minutes because we're waiting on that report. But do you guys think that you're talking, questioning about Australia's team? The reality is it's the England team we need to talk about. Okay. Adam Gilchrist. Well, who was your favourite? Adam Gilchrist, Paul Newman, he's right up there. Absolutely. Yeah, but I mean, how far do you go back? I mean, Neil Harvey's someone who I've admired because I've met the man since and I've talked to him a lot, and I have a lot of time from him. Okay, back to login. Now we're going to be back to login. Okay, so yeah, Adam Gilchrist, well up there. So let's go through them. So Donald Bradman, Keith Miller, an all-rounder from way back. Garfield Sobers, Viv Richards, Michael Holding, Jeff Thompson, Dennis Lilly. Then you look at someone like obviously Adam Gilchrist, maybe even a Ricky Ponting, Tendulkar. You have to be up there as well. My all-time, the earliest I can remember is AB and Steve Waugh. So you're pretty young. Border's good too. He was a great fighter. Steve Waugh was probably the best captain ever. Steve Waugh would have to be the best captain. There's none about that. Well, statistically, he is. I'll tell you what, Coley's got a great record too. Coley's got a great record and shouldn't be underplayed there at all. Really, they keep on knocking Coley, but he's got one of the best records also. Keep me logged in. Log in. I don't want to view that. Where's this Foxtel? Here we go. Foxtel go. Here we go. I'll actually be able to see some cricket on this particular platform. I'd love to see what this is going to show me. Taking a bit of time to work out. Okay. Curtly Ambrose would be scary to face. He certainly was. A word on how Kale Rahul has developed as a test batter after being dropped in 18 MCG tests until now. Look, he was out and out. Punts taken over as a keeper at that stage. He was pushed in the short-term format. Then you have short form format itself. So you had Shubman Gill pushed ahead. Even Prithvi Shaw was pushed ahead. Robert Sharma. And then you had even the likes of Kohli was up there opening the batting. They're all, and Agarwal were all up there contesting the spot. And then things happened in his favour. He was in the squad. He'd been playing well enough. He was in the squad again. People had doubted that. Then Gill was meant to be opening with Robert Sharma, as he did in Australia, and played well there. It was Gill and Sharma's show. But then Gill was injured with a hamstring injury. It defaulted to Agarwal, who was the next came off the rank. He got hit in the head by Siraj in the nets, went to Rahul, and Rahul jumped all over it, as we know, when he played sensationally. Pushed his way right back in that position, and now is the dominant partner in that opening pair with Agarwal. And then he's done well both against New Zealand and obviously against England, and now against South Africa. So there's a lot of very, very positive things. What's going on here? What is the point of it? What's the point of having these bloody screens if things don't work? Oh, I give up. Yeah, but there's a lot more to be said about that. So that's why Rahul's jumped. He's taken his opportunities. Prithvi Shaw probably hasn't. Gill's had injuries, but he needs to make sure that he does. Rohit Sharma's taken his advantage of his opening place as well. Shreyas Iyer has taken his opportunity, so has Agarwal. But 1 minute, Rahane is out on the outer. He's dropped from the vice captaincy with Rohit. Also, not only is he opening batting, he's also vice captain. Then you have Rahane out, and now he's all of a sudden playing back in. He's got 49 out, and he's doing okay. And then Pujara starts to fail. It's just a bit of a lottery. They've got so many good players. It's hard to keep track. Covers are back on. It's been on for a while. New Zealand have never beaten Australia in Australia. That's true. Big issue there. England most of the time gets obliterated in the Aussie conditions. They hardly ever competed for the last 20 years. That's not true. 05, of course, they won in England, but Cook and Alistair Cook and Strauss and they look pretty good. And who was that first dropper? I can't remember his name. I'm having a name blitz today. who was a steady first drop. Trott. Jonathan Trott played very well. Trescothick played very well. So England had a lot more going for them. In Australia, there's two. Then Ben Stokes played well in one of the early series. He played well in England as well. This could mean the first session was washed out. It pretty much looks like it is. Direct hit, are they saying lunch? The direct hit, are they saying lunch? The direct hit, who's the direct? Is this New Zealand group? I'm not sure. Oh, Robert Muller. Yes, looks like it's going to be on soon. Let's wait and see. It's not going to be announced. Yeah, that's right. Kevin Peterson's another one, of course. Paul Newman was saying. Kevin Peterson is certainly another one that was up there, well and truly up there, as a matter of fact. Strauss, Cook, Trott, Kevin Peterson, even the little nuggety right-hander who looks like Pope. I've got his name. When will the match start? Carl Kumar, when we find out, we'll tell you for sure. Ian Bell, he was a good little player. So very much like Pope. Pope had the same expectation. Didn't actually get there, did he? Somalia crisis deepens, I'm saying. What happened to Foxtel? Fox Go? What's the plan with Foxtel Go if it doesn't come up? So they're still showing day one. They're not showing day two. Why has this happened here? Oh boy. App Store. Well, that's a waste. This bloody Foxtel's a waste of freaking time. Oh boy, that's a useless bloody thing. So, India versus South Africa. Yes, we're waiting on that. New Zealand Test champions, but they are not winning away series. That's true. We're all waiting to find out. It'll be on before too long. We've got another 5 minutes. We're seeing what's happening. It's just still showing us this. Let's have a look here. There's no. So 15 minutes before the scheduled inspection, rain has come back. That kind of a day to keep an eye on the rain. The next bit. Okay, so that was 11:15. The rain was back. Then the rain has stopped for now. 11:20. While waiting for the action to resume. Here's okay. Yeah, so basically we're looking at 11:20, 11:50. The rain was raining. 11:20, it was back off, stopped. That was some 6 minutes ago. So we're really struggling with this, guys. But anyway, it's going to be at least another 40 minutes before play starts, guys. So we might just call it quits there, guys, because 40 minutes is a long time to wait, isn't it? Unless you've got lots of questions to ask me, and I can get this whole iPad sorted out, which is not happening. India and Australia are probably the best two test teams going around now. Well, you'd have to think that India certainly are, and New Zealand are. Australia's getting there, but they haven't been tested by someone decent. England are not the benchmark. Good night, Norman. Good on you, Paul. What time is it? You're going to bed? It's like 8:30. What time is it where you are? It's raining all day. How many Charlie reckons? Okay. Date you start delayed you to the wet weather. I thought we know that. This is what the correct buzz is saying. Yes, that's right, direct hit. Quick info saying the same thing. That's what I'm looking at. Yes, it doesn't look very good. It looks like we're going to be raining for a large part of the day. If we get back on, I'll restart the video. How about that, huh? Any other questions, guys? Any other questions? Let me get you to ask questions. I wonder what this damn bloody. What's the point of having a damn video up there if you can't see the frickin' thing? Bloody drive me nuts. Can we get anything up? Oh. All right. So it could be a forward. Catch you later. Catch you later, Paul Newman. I've got some reading up here. Yeah, there's no confirmation of anything at this point in time, which is giving me the bejeebies. I've got a whole host of things which I'm meant to be using for look at the little these passwords. Passwords are very hard to copy. There we are. Okay, we've got some there. All right, so hi Norman Kochenek, hello Sumit Upadhyay. Okay, what happened to Xavier Doherty? Xavier Doherty, he'd be in his late 30s and 40s by now, wouldn't he? Yeah, England, if they lose badly, maybe stripped of their test status. Well, that's going a bit too far. Going a little bit too far there. It's way a bit too early to say something like that. There's a 19-minute and 59-second video of maybe I need to put that here and see if we can get that up here. Maybe I'm going to put this up. You can do the old we gotta go Messenger, or should I go Facebook? Where's Facebook? Oh God. I'm giving up on all these devices. It's just too much, too much. Can we copy something and go along? Copy. No, I'll leave it at that. Okay. Is India versus a match on today? Well, at this point in time, it's not. To say that, to be honest with you, it is not. It's really limited amount of coverage there that's being on. Same age as Anderson is our friend Xavier Doherty. So, no, not happening. Well, he's not playing at all. So, look, I mean, let's just. Where can I put this? Can I get WhatsApp here? Let me get WhatsApp there. WhatsApp seems to be showing us. Here's notes. It's going to take me a long time to sort this out. I'll tell you guys, it'll take me a long time to sort this out. What's this? Okay. Oh, God, I don't know. This is so good. I get this password Q. I'm not going to tell you any more, guys. Don't ask me any more of the password. But where did that come from? Stairs. What's the stairs? That's stairs. 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 Oh, God, I give up. All right. Australia and New Zealand better. Best in. No, I don't agree. I think it's the password. Queensland sucks. No. No. Okay. And overcast conditions and water retaining in the air could be detrimental to his batting. Hope they bat through the conditions. Well, it's fair points, but I don't think it's going to be detrimental to anything at this point. What have we got here? Well, it's gone 8:33 now. So if they said they're going to go out there and expect it's raining again. So the bigger covers are coming out on the supersport part. So we've gone from rain came back, stopped. Now it's raining again and it's heavier. No update. It doesn't look good, guys. So I'm going to have a break now. We'll have a break now. We'll come back perhaps later on. We'll see how it goes. It looks like we're going to be raining quite a bit today. Quite a bit today. So all the best. View, like, and share the post. Subscribe away. Your dreams online. Okay. Then you go about. Go to my Instagram, my Twitter, at Norm Koch, of course, is the YouTube channel. Subscribe notifications. I'll come back on again. And then obviously I've got LinkedIn and I've got Facebook. So all the best to you guys. We'll talk again very soon.